This will be your ultimate guide to Instagram. If you want to monetize, grow your following, build a tribe, create successful content, be respected in your industry, monetize, and overall dominate Instagram, then like this video and let's get started. Here are the timestamps for all of the Instagram tips. Let's get going. Tip number 1, you want to make sure you optimize your profile picture for small sizes. Tip number 2, you want to make sure your handle and your actual content are in sync. Tip number 3, you want to make sure your headline is searchable and includes keywords. Tip number 4, you want to make sure you have one call to action in your bio. 5, you want to make sure you have 3 to 5 highlights maximum, and beside of these highlights you have 3 to 5 slides optimally as well. 7, you want to make sure your profile picture stands out both in the Instagram dark and white theme. You don't want your handle to be more than 15 characters, and at the same time you want your headline to maximize the 30 characters it has for it. You need to focus your bio on the benefits for your followers, not for you. Use as many alternative feeds as possible. Reels, IGTV, special effects, guides. Make sure your headline and bio are optimized for the type of content you're sharing right now. Just don't use hashtags in the bio as well. If you want the most conversions for your link in bio, you have to make sure you're utilizing a direct link, not a link tree. If your handle is taken, don't use symbols, just choose another one. Choose a profile category for your account. Make sure your first highlight is the most important highlight. Use a business account if you are a corporation, and use a creator account if you are a personal brand, but definitely don't use a normal one as you want access to those special features. Don't change your bio too often, and make sure that the first line in your bio is the most important one. Diving into tips 20 to 40 all about content optimization. You want to make sure you pick one niche and you stick to it, for example social media marketing. Then pick 3 content formats you want to excel at, for example reels, single images and carousels, and then come up with specific content pillars inside of your niche, for example social media growth, content creation, etc. Create a consistent visual look for your Instagram posts and use different formats for their strengths. For example, single images are great for getting hashtag reach, whilst carousels are phenomenal for explore page reach. Regularly utilize Instagram stories as well as IGTV videos, as they are phenomenal for nurturing your community, and always make sure you include a call to action in any of your posts. If you want more content ideas, then check which are the posts which did good for you previously and then try to replicate them with updated information. Create content which people would like to save for later, which is implementable. Create content which people would like to share, which is controversial, and then create content which people easily can comment on, which is familiar. Make sure you're paying close attention to the latest trends in your industry by checking Google Trends. And if you'd like an extra boost for your profile, try to set up some collaborations with others. Use tools such as FactFox as well as Quora if you're struggling to get ideas, and make sure you take these ideas and put your unique point of view, don't copy. If you're going to be changing your visuals or your content topics, make sure you have a slow transition, don't change suddenly. If you want to understand which posts have performed good for you, don't only check at the likes. Instead, make sure you are looking at how many of the people you've reached actually turned into followers. Never stop experimenting and testing new formats and ideas. And finally, make sure you don't fall in love with your content ideas. What matters isn't if you think your content is good, what matters if your audience thinks your content is good. Sometimes the ideas we least expect perform the best. Jumping straight into 40 to 60, which is all about making cash. You want to make sure you create a funnel which has multiple sources of income. For example, in the top of the funnel you can sell an ebook, in the middle of the funnel you can sell coaching, and then in the bottom of the funnel you can sell high-level packages. Don't create products which you think will do good, create products which your audience is actively seeking, so make sure you do your product research beforehand. And if you'd like to learn how to do this, then utilize Instagram posts, as they are phenomenal for understanding your audience. A next level strategy is even setting interviews with people in your DMs and creating a close list of potential buyers who you promote to with special Instagram stories. You also want to make sure you understand what your competitors are offering and at what price range ranges in order to price your product appropriately. The goal is to create a product or a service which your audience is needing and your competitors aren't solved. If you want to make sure you increase your conversions, then make sure you include the call to action in your bio. You want to make sure you have a pre-launch strategy as well as a launching strategy already developed as you are creating your product or service. And you shouldn't underestimate the power of your stories, as most of your selling is going to be happening there. Create products which can be utilized to cross-sell or upsell too. For example, you can create an ebook which can cross-sell to a consultation, and then a consultation which is upselling to a coaching program. So always try to look for connections between your products. Also, make sure you are including a call to action in every single one of your upcoming posts during the launching phase in order to make sure that anyone reading your captions is mindful that you have a product launching right now. And if you'd like to make sure your call to actions are as powerful as possible, then you want to make people DM you with a specific keyword and you start forming communication in the DMs. The first rule of selling is making sure you have the trust of the buyer, and in order to do that, don't try to sell to cold people on Instagram. Instead, try to become part of their communities first. Also, make sure you pay close attention to the upcoming monetizational updates on Instagram, which will allow you to monetize IGTV and lives. If you're getting the same question about your offers every single time, create quick responses in your DMs, and also batch all of your client testimonials in your highlights, so if anyone is seeking for validation of your services, they can quickly check them. When you're still starting out, it might also be a good idea to put social proof in your bio. For example, I have helped X amount of people reach Y result. That will help with your trust a lot. During your launch, it is a great way to build hype, but by hosting giveaways, discounts, etc. And always make sure you first give value to your potential buyers and then you seek to make the sale. Moving onwards with tips 60 to 80, we are going to be focusing all on stories. If you have an important story coming up, make sure you stop posting 24 hours before that, as you will maximize the amount of views you get on that one important story. If you want more story views, make sure you get more story interactions. Stickers are a great way to do that. Try to avoid placing elements too close to the top or too close to the bottom, as these zones are usually taken by the Instagram UI. And the next step is also to try to avoid putting elements too close to the side, as this will make it hard for people to tap next or tap back. If you want to share the post of somebody else, don't just reshare it on your stories. Instead, try to add a comment which your audience can relate to and will make them want to check out the post. That's a win-win situation. And if you'd like to get consistent views on your stories, make sure you make them as valuable as your feed posts. Which goes great with our next tip. You don't want to be posting random content in your stories. Utilize your stories to supplement the content you're posting on your main feed. If you want to stand out on stories, you should definitely check out some of the special filters that people have created for them, and make sure to always utilize the same kind of colors, stickers and filters in your stories. That way they will be easily recognizable by your audience. In terms of how often you should be posting on your stories, make sure you're posting at least one story per day, with the optimal amount of stories being 3 to 5, and don't post them one after another. Try to space them out at least 1 hour of delay. If you're utilizing a lot of video in your stories, always make sure you are utilizing subtitles, as most people watch on mute. And definitely do not underestimate the close friend list feature, which can let you post stories to a specific subset of your audience. If you want to drive more conversations with your audience, make sure you give them a call to action to reply to your given story with a specific keyword, which is easy to type in. And if you'd like to spread your influence to somebody else's page, you can always collaborate in their stories by doing story takeovers. Also, please don't tag random people in your stories. If you like more views, again, you need more story interactions. Try to create some content formats which can easily be replicatable in your stories. For example, weekly Q&As, profile audits, etc. These are the kinds of events your audience can be looking forward to in your stories. A great way to get more story views is by including a call to action in your recent post, telling that they can find more information in your stories. The best way to utilize story posts is by making them controversial. That way, both choices, yes, and no have a high chance of receiving votes, which drive more interactions, which drive more views. And the last 20 tips will be all about Instagram growth. Let's get going. Number one tip when it comes down to Instagram growth is making sure you diversify your growth. You don't want to rely only on hashtags or on explore page for growth. Make sure you are utilizing multiple growth sources. If you'd like to learn what are the strategies which I use to grow to 150,000 followers, there is a link to my book in the description. Understand that growth comes down to two main elements: traffic, aka profile visits, and conversions, aka how effectively you're turning those profile visits into followers. If you're not growing, that means that you either aren't generating enough traffic or you're not converting that traffic into followers effectively. Best way to generate traffic in the beginning is by engaging with other people in your industry and by utilizing growth formats such as reels and carousels, which can get you a lot of attention. If you want to make viral reels, what I recommend you doing is studying other viral reels and TikToks in order to understand the format better. Another quick tip for reels is to monitor what are the top trending songs on TikTok and utilize them in your reels. Popular songs help a lot in giving your reels traction. If you want to grow fast, then you have to make daily posts a priority because it gives your audience more information and it gives the algorithm more information as well. Once you start getting more traction, you can then utilize collaborations with other people in order to get some of the attention that they're getting as well. Except collaborations, you can also look for curation pages in your industry, which are basically repurposing good content for free, which is a phenomenal way to get some attention as well. And then when you consistently start growing, you can even utilize some paid sources in order to scale your presence even further. You can pay for shoutouts from legit pages in your industry with good engagement rate and a good community. You can also boost some of the organic posts of yours which have done good and thus drive more attention to them. And if you'd like to create ads which are promoting your profile, make sure you're creating story ads for traffic, as they are the best way to get cheap traffic to your page. Please don't waste your money on giveaways, buying followers or bot followers. You will regret it. If you want to grow organically with hashtags, you want to make sure you choose hashtags not based on your size, but on the amount of likes their posts are getting, as they have to be similar to yours. Another hashtag tip is utilizing hashtags which have the type of content which you are posting in them. So if the majority of the posts in a given hashtags are carousels, then you want to make sure your content is carousel related as well. And to drive the point about hashtags home, you want to make sure you are choosing hashtags which are active, meaning the top posts on these hashtags aren't 14 days or older. Always utilize 30 hashtags and make sure you create multiple hashtag sets in order to find out which ones work the best. Another phenomenal source for growth is cross-platform promotion. For example, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is 𝗨𝗂𝗪𝗂𝗪 and let's get your role on social media. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and press the like button and let's dominate social media together.